Take a midnight train out of Austin.
There we go. Now you guys can probably hear me. I had my mic muted. um, well, if you look at the title of the video, you'll see what we're talking about tonight. And I just want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for coming in. I also want to say that I did not know that Zach was going live tonight. So if that screwed up anybody's plans, I do apologize. But normally he doesn't do Thursdays, which is why I picked Thursdays. There's usually nobody on Thursday, which is why I picked Thursday. I also want to apologize for being absent for the past 2 Thursdays. I got home late last Thursday and the Thursday before. I want to say that we did change outs both of those Thursdays. And it's not the change outs that held me up. It's when we got done with the change outs about 1, 2 o'clock. We had calls to run after that also. And I ended up getting home late both Thursday nights. And I was just too tired to do the show. But today I was able to get home at a halfway decent time. And, and I definitely wanted to do the show. So I seen a couple. Look, I'm going to try something new tonight, guys. I don't want y'all to be asking me questions throughout the whole show because every time I read the chat, I get distracted. I end up, and there's like a dead spots in the show. Like I'll just sit here like this, and I don't want to do that. And then I'm reading your comment, which is not the same topic of what I'm talking about, and then I lose my train of thought. That's just a very bad habit that I have. So I will kind of glance at the chat every now and then. I mean, I do want you guys to chat away. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm going to try to keep these shows, if I have a subject I want to talk about, like tonight, I want to talk about rain or shine glue, and I want to talk about Lennox warranty process. And I'm going to stick to primarily those 2 topics. Once I'm done, you can ask questions and I'll be glad to answer them. But, not every week is going to be a specific topic. This is just something that I feel like needs to be talked about because I uploaded a video on the rain or shine glue and I want to talk about that. And then I've done some work on a couple Lennoxes lately that are under warranty, and I want to talk about their new warranty process. So, anyway, if you can hold your questions till the end, that would be fantastic. So let's kick this off. We're going to stay on here maybe about an hour tonight. Hour and a half would be the max, but I want to try to keep it to an hour. Okay, so all right, Randy, like I said, man, try to keep it to the end, brother. See, I'm already getting thrown off track. I highly recommend JB vacuum pumps, okay? I've had JBs throughout. I've been doing this for right at 20 years now, and I've had better luck with JB than any other pump. So I suggest my favorite pump is the JB part number is DV200N. It's a 7 CFM vacuum pump. To me, it's top notch. Or see, it's the tits. I'll say my helper gets a kick out of me because no, Eric, it's not. Rain or shine is not awesome. Anyway, because if something's cool, somebody would say JB vacuum pumps are the best thing since sliced bread, or they'll say JB vacuum pumps are the best or this or that. When I have something like that, I say, oh yeah, man, that's the tits. So I crack myself up. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna get started. I uploaded a video titled Rain or Shine Glue, is it any good, or something like that. And of course it's not. We got Eric here in the chat saying that. How you doing, Sean? Nice new logo, brother. I like that. I got Eric here in the chat saying that Rain or Shine is awesome, which is not true. But anyway, I got a lot of backlash on the comments, which is fine. Negative comments. I welcome all comments, negative, positive, whatever. But everybody told me I was wrong about the Rain or Shine glue. And I don't think I am. And I'm going to tell you why. I uploaded that video, and basically, if you didn't watch the video, some AC guys around here, they like to run a 1-inch condensate drain line. They think that it'll prevent so much clogging. I'm definitely not wrong, Isaiah. Sorry to tell you that, but I'm not. Anyway, a 1-inch drain line, I mean, you might get a little bit more life out of it, but if you don't maintenance it, it's going to clog as well. So anyway, I got a service call from a customer, a repeat customer, and he says, hey, I've got water all over my ceiling. He said, but there's no water in the pan or anything. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'll be out there. We'll take a look at it. So if you didn't watch the video, I get out there. We have no water in the pan, nothing. So we start looking, and drain lines around here are insulated. So a 90. So basically the unit was sitting up on the platform. Okay. It had a P-trap, and then it 90 down off the platform, and then 90'd this away. Well, the pipe pulled out of the 90, and it had been glued. Now, this is not the first time I've run into this with Rain or Shine glue. Okay. And everybody says, oh, that's because it was probably put on wrong, and he didn't, go all the way around. He probably only glued the fitting instead of gluing the fitting and the pipe. And it's like everybody was coming up with an excuse. But let me tell you guys something. My dad is also a Louisiana master plumber. I know quite a bit about drain lines and gluing them and stuff like that, because I don't consider myself a plumber, but I do consider myself to have a plumbing background and a good bit of knowledge about plumbing. People were saying, the way that I fixed it, I cut a section out and re-glued it, and it's holding fine. They're saying, well, you didn't use primer or this or that. Guys, let me tell you something. When you use primer, most of you know that primer is used to clean the pipe before you apply the glue. And Rain or Shine is junk. Anyway, I cannot believe how many of you guys like Rain or Shine. And I think it's because a lot of you don't have a plumbing background. When you have a plumbing background, it's different. But primer is used to clean the pipe, okay? If your pipe is clean, in the plumbing world, here in Louisiana, if you run a sewer line, a water line, you have to use purple primer. That way the inspector can see that you used it. You cannot use clear primer in the plumbing industry here. You have to use purple, again, so the inspector can see it, that you used it. And people are telling me, man, you didn't use primer, blah, 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 blah. Look, let me guys tell you something. An AC condensate drain line, let's try to keep this in mind, okay? It has no pressure on it, okay? It's not a water line. Now, a water line, out in the yard, or a sewer line, that's going to have, a lot of stuff going through it with pressure. I mean, and then again, sewer line is not pressure either, but it's big. It's usually 3 or 4 inch pipe, and there is solids passing through there, so you definitely want to prime that and glue that really well. A water line, definitely you want to use primer. You want to use Well, we have to agree to disagree, tough. But I mean, you can't look at that joint from a from a video, bruh, and tell if it's properly glued or not, man. I mean, look, I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing or anything, but come on, bro. It's on camera. There's a lot of things on camera that you just can't tell, but I digress. Anyway, a water line. See, I'm trying not to get caught up in the chat, but you guys can sit here and praise rain or shine glue all you want. I'm not going to use it because it's trash. Anyway, water lines, you definitely want to prime that and make sure you glue it very well. AC drains have no pressure on them. It is literally a trickle. The water trickles through a AC condensate drain line. I have seen drain lines, 3/4, 1 inch, that's different. 3/4 inch drain lines. And now these are in a closet that I've seen mostly. Believe it or not, I've seen this in an attic too. Now I glue everything, okay? But I do not use rain or shine. I use clear PVC cement. It's the green label by, what's the name of that company? Ote or some crap like that. I don't know. It's the best glue on the market, in my opinion. So anyway, I have seen PVC drain lines. That's it, Nicholas. That's the name. And I use that brand, the green label. It's clear PVC cement. It's fantastic. It's the best. I have seen AC condensate drain lines piped all the way. Now, like I said, most of the time it's in a closet application, piped all the way from the start of the unit all the way down through the return, going into the sewer, wherever it's going, with absolutely no glue, none, no glue on any of the fittings. And they just push them in real tight. And, excuse me, they push them in real tight and they stay like that for years and don't leak because AC drain lines, again, they don't have any pressure. It's a trickle of water running through the drain line. And if rain or shine glue cannot hold up to a trickle, then I sure as hell wouldn't use it on anything else, especially in the plumbing world. Clear PVC cement is the way to go. Rain or shine glue is junk. It breaks down over the years. I'll give you an example. When I started, when my dad and his ex-business partner broke up in 2010, excuse me. Exactly. Sean, which is Wild West in the chat, just made a great point. You don't think rain or shine glue is junk? Put pressure on it to clear a condensate drain. Put pressure, nitrogen pressure, on a condensate drain with rain or shine glue. I guarantee you one of your joints will blow apart, if not more than one. Anyway, when my dad and his ex-business partner separated in 2010, and we started, the company, me and him together as partners, we started using a subcontractor that used rain or shine glue. And my dad told, he would do most of our change outs. And we would, he told, we went and inspected it and saw that he used the rain or shine glue. And my dad immediately had a shit fit. And he told him, he said, look, man, I'm not a fan of that shit. So if one of these joints comes apart, you're going to come fix it on your dime. And he agreed. So very true, Eric. But I guarantee you got a hell of a better chance of the clear one not coming apart than you do rain or shine, because I don't care what y'all say. I have seen it, and I'm fixing to make a point. Give rain or shine 5 to 5 years or more. You can go up to a coupling that you glued and just literally, I mean, it takes a little effort, but you can pull it out. That rain or shine glue will give away. Clear PVC cement will not do that. Yeah, I'm telling you, it won't. But rain or shine, you go to a coupling, you can get it to come off after about 5-6 years. I'm telling you, I've done it. Anyway, so the subcontractor, he's using rain or shine glue. Okay, the guy promoting Stephen Lavamonier, you're out of here. All right. So anyway, the subcontractor agrees to it. I've been on units, and this guy still comes down to Lafayette, and he'll do work for me. So I've been on, so is my dad, on some of our change outs, years later. And you see your drain line, and you can see like the rain or shine glue is just like it's flaking. That's when you know that it has quit doing its job. You can see the flakes falling on the platform or whatever. And when you see that, you grab the pipe and you're fitting and give it a good little twist and pull, it'll pull right out. That will not happen with PVC cement, clear PVC cement. It's just not going to. But for you guys out there that have been using rain or shine glue and you say it's the tits and all that and whatever, hey, more power to you. You will see it. And I'm telling you, if you put pressure on it, which I don't, I use a vacuum. I used to use the CO2 cartridge gun, the Gallo gun, but I don't do that anymore because two reasons. One, I was putting nitrogen CO2 cartridges, and I had a rain or shine glue fitting come apart, and didn't know about it until the homeowner called me and told me they had water coming down there, coming down in the kitchen. So I found that, and now I vacuum. And then, Ted Cook made a good point about it's not good to put pressure on the condensate line, especially if they forgot to glue a fitting. I did hear about Jeff, the maintenance man, and that's very disturbing news. And I just, my God bless his family, and my prayers go out to his family. I was very, 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 very sad, very, very sad to hear that. It's a terrible thing. But Ted made a good point. If you got somebody that didn't glue a fitting, and you'll hear Ted say, or they use that stupid blue rain or shine glue, you can blow it apart. So now I use a vacuum. So you're not going to nobody's going to convince me that rain or shine glue is good. If you're not familiar with rain or shine glue, all different kind of brands make it, See, the thing about it is mostly they say you can put it on the pipe even if it's wet. That's what it's all about. So to the guys getting in the new trade, you got a lot of guys in this chat right now that are sticking up for rain or shine glue. I highly suggest you ignore that. Because rain or shine glue is not a good product. It's not. It doesn't work. I mean, it works. And it will glue, but over time it will break down and the joint will. I'm not saying the joint will just magically come apart, but look what happened the other day. That 1 inch on that video, that 1 inch pulled out of that 90. And again, if you do something, guys, I'm going to have to pause for a second. My phone is ringing. It could be a customer. Hang tight. guys, please bear with me. I'm taking a service call. I don't have to go out tonight, but he's scheduling for in the morning. I'll be right back. Guys, my apologies. You know how customers are. They want to tell you every little thing. So that was a customer that I put a new system in. I put in a Ream 14 SEER condenser gas furnace and evaporator about 2 months ago. And now his in-laws unit is freezing up. So I told them to tell his in-laws turn it off, and we would be there first thing in the morning. So thanks for not leaving and waiting and understanding that I was taking a service call. All right, so we're going to shift gears here. I just want to make one last point. I don't care what any of you guys say. I'm not being a dickhead. This is from experience. Rain or shine glue sucks. Period. Okay. So before we switch over to the Lennox warranty thing, I want to tell you guys about a service call, and I got a short video clip for y'all. Um, we ended up changing the air handler on this system. So I get a call. This was last Monday night. Not this Monday that just passed, but the one before. We it's 9 o'clock at night. My phone rings like it just did. And it's a customer, obviously, and he tells me that his unit's not cooling. So I get there and I put the gauge, everything's running, the blower's running, the condenser's running, and I slap the gauges on there, and this is what I see. So before I know what the problem is. I knew right away what it was, and I even got verification from the customer from the other contractor's invoice. So I want y'all to watch the video and see if any of y'all know what the problem might be. Go back down. A minute ago, it jumped up to like 460 and then jumped right back down. But there we go. I was muted again. My apologies. All right. So I see restriction. No. TXV. Looks like TXV wide open. Restriction. TXV, compressor valves. No to all that. No restriction. No am I still muted? Hello? Am I still muted? I shouldn't be. Okay. All right. It's not a restriction. It's not a TXV. Let's see what else y'all got. Overcharged? Nope. It's 410A, by the way, if y'all didn't catch that on the gauges. Hey, Robin, one more and you can go, brother. Keep it up. Nobody's in here for your smart ass comments, okay? This is about having a good time. If you don't like my opinion on rain or shine glue, get the hell out. It's not a filter. It's not a filter dryer. Okay, non-condensables. That's close. I mean, I guess but that's what I thought too at first. But no, it's not. The first thing I said to myself was, we got non-condensables in this system. But I was wrong. That's not it. So the answer is mixed refrigerants. That system had R22 and 410A in it. That's why those pressures were doing that. And I'm looking at those gauges and I'm like, man, I don't know if y'all heard it, but the compressor, some of y'all need to catch up and make sure you click the live button. Some of y'all are really, really behind in the chat. The first thing I thought was, okay, we got to have non-condensables in this unit. And then it dawned, I mean, I don't know what it was. I was walking to the truck to go get something, and then I was going to go talk to the customer. Yeah, you could hear the compressor. It was extremely loud. And then something just clicked and said, wait a minute. I bet you there's R22 in that unit. So I get in the house. I'm getting there, and I talked to the customer, and I said, "Look, man, your compressor's making a lot of noise, and your pressures are just all over the place." And I was like, "Who put the unit in?" And the guy was just some chuck in the truck that did it on the side, and he told me that. Now let's back up a little bit. That was a 2016 watch the video. I just posted the video. That was a 2016 16 seer, okay? 16 seer ICP, single stage, but a 16 seer. He attached that to a 12-year-old Goodman air handler. Now, let's get into it a little more. So I go up in the attic and I see this Goodman air handler, and this is like 10 o'clock at night. And it says at the bottom of the data tag R22/R410A. I'm like, damn. So I go in the house and I talk to the customer and I say, hey, your unit has symptoms of either non-condensables, and I explained to him what non-condensables were, or mixed freons like R22 and 410A mixed. When I said that, he's like, that's what it is. And I was like, what makes you say that? And he said, the guy that put the unit in said that the indoor unit that I had was not made for 410A. So the guy told the customer, that he soldered the unit in. He dumped all the 410A out. He said he just let it out into the air. And then he put R22 in it. So that he's no longer able to get a hold of that guy. And he had another guy come work on it twice. And, he tried to explain this to the customer. And I'm sorry. I was looking at the chat again. I got to stop doing that. The customer tried to explain this to the other AC guy when he called him out. And he's like, well, I'll look at it. And he's like, he topped it off with Freon and, it seemed to cool okay. That's what the customer told me. I said, okay, when that guy came out, you told him it had R22 in it, right? And he said, yes, I did. And the other contractor didn't believe it for some reason. I said, did you happen to see what color his jug was when he put the Freon? He said, yeah, it was pink. The customer knew. He said, yeah, it was a pink jug. I said, okay. So the customer verified it. And this guy's not stupid. He's a retired Marine, and he's a very smart guy, and he pays attention. So I believe him. And those pressures prove it. So I tell him, look, it's 10 o'clock at night. What we're going to do is we're going to shut this system down for the night. There's nothing I can do for you tonight. And, y'all going to have to tough it out. And he's like, oh, no, we'll go get a hotel room. And I was like, well, that. And I said, I'm sorry. And he said, no, I understand. I said, I will come back over here first thing tomorrow morning. Like, again, this was last Monday. and we'll see what we can do for you. So this is what we did. We get back over there the next morning. First thing I do is I go in the attic. I knew the coil was leaking, but I wanted to verify it. Guys, look, even I can normally look at a coil with the naked eye and tell if it's leaking, but I don't ever condemn a coil or anything until I put the H10 on it, okay? I looked at this coil the night before at 10 o'clock at night, and I could tell it was leaking just by the naked eye. Again, I will never, ever condemn a coil or something until the leak detector tells me to. So we put the H10 in there, it's screaming. So bam, that's the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. First, and then the air handler was just in horrible, horrible condition. So what I wanted to do was replace the air handler, recover the charge, evacuate the whole system, the condenser, the line set, the new air handler, everything, and get it going. But I couldn't do that particular day. I had too much other stuff to do. So what we did for the time being, and now mind you, there was a filter dryer on the outside. So what we did that day, just to get them going so they didn't have to keep staying in the hotel, because it was going to be like 2 days before I could come change the air handler, we recovered the charge, replaced the filter dryer, and we also changed the piston in the Goodman air handler because it was very simple to do. And a lot of you are going to say, well, why did you go through all this if you changed the air handler a couple days later? Again, because I wanted to keep my customer cool. I didn't want my customer to have to stay in a hotel room for 2 or 3 days waiting on me. That's why I did this. So we recovered the charge. We changed the filter dryer. We put the correct size piston in for a 410A condenser. Okay. I pulled a vacuum on the whole system. Condenser, line set. Now, mind you, with a leaking Goodman coil, I could not pull a very successful vacuum like I would have wanted to. So I did the best that I could. So I load the unit up with 410A. We have a new filter dryer and a piston. And the air handler is made for 410A. We turn the unit on. The compressor, it sounds like it's brand new. Instead of that loudness, it's just, it sounds great. I take an amp draw. The amps are good, which is good. I wanted to make sure the compressor wasn't damaged. I go in the house after about 30 minutes of run time. We got like a 17-degree temperature split. Thing is cooling great. It had already dropped the house a couple degrees. I quoted out a new air handler, and to remove the charge again, change the filter dryer again, and charge it with fresh virgin 410A again. He accepted the quote. I told him we would either come on this day or this day. It was going to be 2 or 3 days. I had to work my schedule out and see when we could do it. I said, but I gave you air conditioning until I can get here. He said, hey, I'm good with it as long as I got air. Later that night, I get a text message from this customer that says, John, this unit has never cooled as good as it's cooling right now, even since he put it in brand new. And I texted him. I said, yeah, that's because he put R22 Freon in it. And he, of course, he's like, so do we really need to change the air handler? And I was like, yes. And I wrote him I called him and I said, hey man, it was too much to text. I said, yes. And I explained to him why we needed to change the air handler, because it was 12 years old. It was in horrible, horrible shape, full of rust, full of mildew, not black mold, but moldy looking stuff growing in it. And plus the evaporator was leaking like hell. And he's like, yeah, he said, you're right. Let's just move forward with the job as planned. So we get there 2 days later, and I put in an ICP air handler. I'm primarily Ream, but I went ahead and put in a ICP air handler to match the ICP outdoor unit. And the air handler that I used is the matching air handler for a 16 SEER outdoor unit with the ICP. It's a matched ICP system. So now he has a true 16 SEER ICP system running at, getting full 16 SEER with 410A refrigerant. So I thought you guys would enjoy that little story there and that video that I made. So anyway, um, you guys are free to comment on that. Again, I'm trying not to read the chat because I get distracted when I do that. I mean, I'm glancing at it every now and then, but I really don't want to answer questions right now because I'm going to lose my train of thought. So either after the video is over, you can go to the regular comment section and comment about it, or um or when I'm done talking, about the Lennox thing, I'll take some questions. All right, so let's move on to Lennox's warranty process. So I've done a couple jobs on some warranty Lennox equipment. For instance, last week, I think, or maybe the week before last, a repeat customer called me out. He's got two systems. One is it was a Train system. It was a Train XR15 system. It is now a Ream outdoor unit with a Train indoor, and it was a 410A system. And anyway, he lost all his refrigerant due to a piece of copper breaking. Long story short, I gave him a price to repair the Train or put in a new heat pump, and he chose to put in the new heat pump. So he's a repeat customer. On the opposite side of his house, where his master bedroom and stuff is, he has a 2-ton Lennox system that he's had multiple issues with. So he calls me out and tells me that the Lennox is not cooling. I said, okay. So I get there, and this is another very intelligent customer. So he said, hey, John, I turned it off about 30 minutes ago because it was freezing. He said, and the blower motor up in the attic is not running. I said, okay. So this is what I don't understand about some of these damn dealers that sell Lennox. Put him in a bottom of the barrel 14 SEER condenser, not the one with the wire on it, but the next step above that with the cage on it. Not the Elite, not the Signature. It's the other one. But it's still bottom of the barrel. 14 SEER 2-ton condenser. I get in the attic. It's a damn Dave Lennox Signature Series variable speed air handler. It's like, why in the hell would you put that on a basic 14 SEER? They put a damn, the Signature Series variable speed air handler on a 14 SEER condenser. Makes absolutely no sense to me. If it had been a 16 SEER condenser, I could understand that because I do that. When I do a 16 SEER, I do a 16 SEER single stage outdoor unit with a variable speed blower motor. But this was a damn 14 SEER. Anyway, the module was bad on the variable speed blower motor. I had proper voltage going to the motor. Okay, so with Lennox, it's 240 volts or 110, or if it's a gas furnace. You have to have that constantly, just like a X13. And then on the bottom plug, you have DC voltage. It's like, is it DX, or I can't remember the letters, but in between common and those X letters or whatever, you have to have 13 DC volts on Lennox. And I had it, which means that the motor was getting its signal to come on, telling me that either the module or the motor was bad. Now, so the way you move on to diagnose that, I take the blower assembly out, I pull the module off the top of the blower motor. The way you diagnose this is to diagnose the motor itself. Okay, I'm going to say this one more time. A lot of you guys are really, I'm seeing your comments coming in, and you're really far behind. You need to scroll down to the bottom of your screen where the play and pause button is and click the live button. A lot of you guys have fell behind. So, anyway, I pull the module off, and the way you test this is the motor should spin free. Okay. It spins free. Now, a variable speed and an X13 blower motor are essentially a 3-phase motor. So if it spins free and you have on that plug, you have 3 wires. You go between all 3, this one and this one, and then this one and this one, you hit all of them. You should have the exact same resistance between all 3, no matter what combination you do. So the motor spun free. I checked resistance, all that checked out, which tells me the module's bad. The little capacitors in the module or something in the module has went bad. It's not telling the motor to come on. It's getting its signal, but it's not telling the motor to come on. Normally, I would just replace the module, especially if it's not under warranty, but due that it was in warranty, I left that decision up to the customer because he's a very intelligent man. And I absolutely love this customer. They're such great people. I love doing work for them. It's actually a pleasure to go to their house and work for these people, because after I get done, I visit with him and his wife. They're elderly people, but they're extremely intelligent, and they're the sweetest people in the world. So anyway, I tell him, I can do just the module, or I can do the motor and the module. Although the motor's not bad, they will still warranty the whole thing. And he's like, well, what do you recommend? And I'd say, well, it's under warranty. I'd do both. And he agreed. I said, oh, yeah, then let's do both of them. So I call Lennox and I order a motor and a module, and it comes together. But you can order just the module. So it comes in, and we don't have a Lennox store here. The closest one is about an hour away. But I have an account with Lennox Parts Plus. I have a charge account with them. So they charge the motor to my account. Normally, I ship the motor back, and they credit my account when they get it. So I call the girl that I deal with at the Lennox store in Baton Rouge, and I say, hey, it's John Israel. And she said, yeah. I said, look, I got that old variable speed motor. I said, you want me to ship it to your location or to the one in New Orleans so I can get my credit on my account? This is what the woman proceeds to tell me. John, we don't file the warranty for y'all anymore. What? I said, so I don't send the motor back in? When y'all get the motor, you credit my account? She said, no. I said, then how the hell am I supposed to get credit on my account? I said, I'm not paying $800 for this damn motor and module. It's under warranty. She said, well, you have a pen and a piece of paper? And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. As if Lennox is not hard enough to deal with their shit equipment. Now I got to deal with this. How you doing, Ted? She said, you need to go to this website. She tells me www.linuxpros.com, I think is what she told me. I got it wrote down. I said, okay. She said, and you're going to have to create an account. So I write down, okay, create account. She said, do you know your account number? I said, hell no, I don't know my account number. She said, okay, let me give you your account number with us. She gives me the account number, my account number. And I said, okay. She goes, you're going to need that account number to create you an account. I said, okay, what I do then? She goes, well, you're going to go to the warranty claim section or whatever. You're going to enter the model number, the serial number, the part that was bad, and what you did. Once you do that, I'll get notification and it will automatically credit your account. And I'm like, huh. So not only do we have to deal with Lennox's shit equipment, now I have to do the warranty myself. I don't know if it's like that where y'all are at. Now, this is Lennox Parts Plus. That's just another reason why I refuse to deal with Lennox. So, well, no, Ted, I don't buy Lennox equipment, brother. I have an account for when I need parts. But, so, not only do I have to deal with this bullshit, and then I have to get it shipped to me from Baton Rouge or New Orleans because we don't have a store here. Now I have to file my own damn warranty. All the supply houses around here, even the ones I don't deal with that much, and I think I bet you they don't do that to their dealers. Because it's probably like, oh, well, you don't never buy. This is probably what they're thinking. You don't never buy equipment from us, so fuck you. We're just gonna we're gonna start making people like that do their own goddamn warranty. Now we'll take care of our dealers. No, York makes Luxair, not Lennox. Anyway, so yeah, that's Lennox's new warranty policy. You got to create your own account on linuxpros.com and you got to do the warranty yourself. It's just another bullshit policy that Lennox has come up with. So if any of you guys deal with Lennox Parts Plus, that's what you're going to have to deal with. So now I got to do that. I still haven't done it yet because I've been so damn busy. I just haven't had time to do it. I'm probably going to do it when I get off of here. I'll probably just sit right here at the desk and go ahead and do it. And it's because I need to get the credit on my account because I sure don't want them sending me a bill for that damn motor. But man, Lennox, that's just horrible customer service. When I go to a supply house over here, whether it's an ICP supply house or even the train supply house that I absolutely hate, if I have a motor or something under warranty, I bring the old one back. They say, okay, they get on the computer and they say, okay, we credited your account for you. Thank you. Now, I don't mind going in the supply house and they give you a form that they want you to put the homeowner's name, address, phone number, model and serial number. I have no issue filling that out for the guys at the supply house. That's not an issue. And then they go in the system, they enter all the information. Hell, my account's been credited before I even walk out the door, and they give me a credit slip, like an invoice that has a negative on it that tells you credit this much money. But no, that's not good enough. Lennox they don't want to do that because they're Lennox. Now you have to do it. So anyway, today I went on a 2-system maintenance. He had 2019 Lennox systems. He does not choose to use the contractor that installed them anymore because of the issues that he's had with them. And I was recommended to him. He had a 4-ton and a 2.5 ton. It's a big ass house. And he told me, anyway, he told me that the 2.5 ton was not cooling that well. So we check it out. And he had a restricted TXV, which has already been ordered. It's under warranty, and I guess I'll have to do that too. So anyway, well, guys, I've been on here right at come an hour. I know we had a pause there with the phone call, and I do apologize about that. So now I'm ready to watch the chat. If you have a question, put it in all caps so that I can know to answer your question. I'll sit here for about 5 or 10 minutes and see what comes in, and we'll go from there. Now, you can ask me anything you want about rain or shine glue or the Lennox issue or that story I told, about the system with the mixed refrigerants. I mean, if you want to ask me something else off of those topics, that's fine too. But, the point of this show is those topics. So again, all caps, and I'm watching the chat, so y'all can fire away with that. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to go through the chat, and I see my good buddy Eric is here. There's 2 Erics in here. I'm talking about the one with the green logo. He's a good friend of mine. How you doing, Eric? So are you asking me to tell another good story? Okay, let's see. Back to the drain line. What do you do with drain line that is full of rust and shop vac won't work? Okay, so if I go again, that he didn't put that in all caps. Please, guys, put questions in all caps. If I have a drain line that the shop vac, because there are some that you're right, the shop they're too clogged, the shop vac won't get it. I try to find the clog and cut it out and replace it with a a short piece of pipe and a coupling, or if I have enough slack, just a coupling. If that's not possible, I will not use a nitrogen tank. I will use the CO2 gallo gun, but I don't do it all in one trigger pull because it puts a pretty good blast through there. So I'll just kind of like, you know, and normally you can feel it break free. Then I will go back to the shop vac, and then the shop vac will get it from there. And then I use this stuff called, I'll either pour coil cleaner down the line, or I use this stuff called Thrift. It comes in like a little jar with a cap, and it's like some little white pellets, and it has to be activated by hot water only. And it does a really good job of cleaning anything out in that in the drain line. So I hope that answers your question. Again, if you have a question, please put it in all caps. And now after I'm done with that, I will flush that line set multiple times, and I always use hot water. That's another trick I learned from my dad being a plumber. If you got some is 734 microns good? No, not really. It's 500 or less. Come on, man. That's elementary stuff. Same here, Ted. I'll use coil cleaner, Thrift. I've used other stuff. I have all kind of different methods. I'm exactly the same way. So hot water, if you have some lingering stuff in there, hot water will unstick it from the pipe. Cold water won't. So I flush the drain line several times with hot water. I keep an empty gallon of coil cleaner bottle, a gallon, and I'll fill that sucker up with steaming hot water from the customer's sink. And I will pour it down the drain. I'll fill that sucker up 2 or 3 times and flush the hell out of that drain. Or if I have water in the pan, I now have a transfer pump, just like Mr. Ted Cook here, and I'll let the transfer pump, I'll empty the pan into the primary line. Now that's cold water, and I will still flush with hot water, but not as much, because although the pan is cold water, that pump is really pumping it through there. So you got a little bit of pressure on that. So I might just do 1 gallon of hot water after that. So yeah, there's all kind of different ways that I do it. Do I have good luck with the H10 on 410A? Absolutely. The H10 has never been an issue on any refrigerant. Of course, I only work with 22 and 410A and R22 replacements. I don't do refrigeration work. So, but I know refrigeration guys that have the H10, and it works on 404A, 502, all that shit that they use, 134A, H10 price. I don't know. I think it's like 5 something, like a little, just a hair over $500 on TrueTechTools.com. But yeah, the H10, best leak detector on the market. I mean, doesn't matter what refrigerant it is, it's going to find it. Any more questions? In caps, please. Very true, Joe. The Mighty Pump does work good. I do have a Mighty Pump. Rector Seal sent me one a couple years ago. It's probably been more than a couple years now, but it's not currently on my truck. But yeah, that's a good. I mean, there's all kind of different ways you can do it. No, Ronnie, that's going back to the same thing that we just talked about. If you were here, I found a system with mixed refrigerants. Mixing refrigerants is a no-no. You just don't do it. Even though it's an R22 replacement. Now, I've done it before. I did it at a relative's house with a certain I did it with RS44B by Comstar, which is R453A. And the unit's been replaced now, but it was an old system, and I did it. I just wanted to see. Again, this was at a relative's house. Okay? I want to stress that. Not a customer, a relative. And we knew we were going to change the unit anyway. Although it was an R22 replacement, I mixed it with the 22. It did cool, but my pressures, they weren't as unstable as the video that we saw earlier, the video clip that I showed y'all, but they were still unstable. They just weren't as bad. You know, the suction and the head would go like to 72 and then, you know, 2 something, stay there for about maybe 3-4 minutes, and then they'd start playing a little bit and then stabilize. So they were still kind of jumpy. No, you should never, ever mix refrigerants, even if you're using an R22 replacement. Look, guys, y'all are just going to have to suck it up and buy R22. Okay. I know it's expensive, but I have a jug on my truck. Or you need to take all the R22 out and replace it with all new 427A or whatever you use. Don't mix refrigerants. It's not going to work like it's supposed to. Just don't do it. What system do I have on my house? I don't own this house. We rent this house. Me and the wife, we want to get a few more. We want to let the business establish more. The business is 2.5 years old. I'd like to get it to 4 years before I apply for a mortgage. So we're going to go about another 1.5 years in business before I apply for a mortgage. So we rent. But to answer your question, this is a mobile home. It has a mobile home Guardian, which is a York product, mobile home air handler with a Nordyne micro channel evaporator coil and a Nordyne condenser. What am I paying for R22 and 410A? As of today, R22 was $750 a jug plus tax. 410A was $300 plus tax, I believe. Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely $750 on the R22. That's plus tax. And I think 410A was $300 or $305 plus tax. I couldn't agree with JJ more. JJ, that is a great point. Replacement Freon or refrigerant, for you anal people out there, refrigerant, does not mean mix them. It's not a drop in, okay? Y'all need to take the word drop in and eliminate that from your brain, okay? I know a lot of people use the word drop in. To me, drop in is putting it on top of what's in the unit. That's a drop in. There's no such thing. You never want to mix refrigerants. You need to start using the word replacement like JJ did. Like JJ said, replacement doesn't mean mix them. It means take the R22 out and then replace it with the replacement Freon. Well, Ted, if I'm changing an air hand, like if I'm changing a coil or changing something out, then I'll go to a replacement. But I do still have R22 for people that just need a top off. How do you sell customers on squirting in some R22 at that huge price tag? It's not hard. I tell them you're low on Freon and you have a leak. I give them a price to top it off, and I give them a price to replace the system. If they choose to top it off, which a lot of people do, I top it off and I collect my money. It's not that hard. Now, I do something, I think Ted does this too. A lot of people will disagree with this, but I really don't care. If I go to somebody's house and they're just going to need like 2 to 3 pounds of R22, and they said, I want to replace it, they agreed to my quote, I don't even charge them. I don't even charge them. I just say, look, I don't worry about it. I got you topped off to keep you cool until I can get here. It's very rare that I can go to a house, quote a system and come back the next day and change it. Now, during the slow season, yeah, I can do that all the time. This time of the year, no, it's usually a 2 or 3 day turnaround minimum. So I'll add the gas to keep them cool, because if you don't, they're going to call somebody else that can do the change out faster. But if you keep them cool, they don't mind waiting. So I'll top them before I even top them off. I'll tell them, look, this thing's low. You got the R22, blah, 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 blah. I'll, tell them you got a leak, and they're like, yeah. I'll give them a quote, and they say, yeah, let's change it out. And I'll say, okay, but look, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to charge your unit up for you. And they're like, well, no, I don't want to pay for that expensive Freon because I'm about to buy a new system. And that's when I say, I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to top you off. You can look at your gauges and tell, man, this thing ain't going to need but maybe 2-3 pounds at the most. Some of them don't even need that much. Some of them need like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. So yeah, 180 a pound is greedy. I'm charging $100 a pound for R22 right now. Anyway, so I will go top the unit off. Now, I mean, if it's dead empty, then I would probably just take the rest out and put one of them replacements in there. Either way, I'll get them going. But if it's just a couple pounds, I'm not sweating that, man. That customer is about to spend thousands of dollars with me on a new system. Shit. I'll top that sumbitch off all day long and keep them cool to give me a couple days to knock out some more work and get in there and change it out. I'm not sweating that shit. And all you people, there's a lot of guys that'll say, oh, that's, you're losing money that way and blah, blah. Man, get out of here with that bullshit. That's called customer service, bruh. When you do something like that for a customer, they won't forget. Okay. That guy that called me that I had to pause the video for, I just put him a new system 2 months ago. Now his in-laws unit is freezing up. Okay. What does that tell y'all? That system's got a leak. What's probably going to happen tomorrow at his in-laws? I'm probably going to sell him a change out. But guess what I'm going to do for him? I'm going to top that R22 unit off until I can get there, because tomorrow is Friday. So I definitely can't do the job tomorrow. It'll be at least 2. I don't do change outs on Mondays. I don't do it. I mean, unless it's an emergency, because Mondays are too hectic from the weekend. Some people don't feel like calling in on the weekend, or you'll go on a call over the weekend and you couldn't get the part because the supply houses were closed or something. So you got to get back on that shit Monday. I do not schedule change outs for Mondays. So Tuesday minimum would be the closest. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm just guessing that's what's going to happen, wishful thinking, if you will. But I'm going to go over there and, I'm going to sell them a change out if I feel like they need one. And if they're low on gas, they do need one. And he did say the unit was old and it had the old Freon. So they're aware of that. And I'm going to top the unit off to keep those elderly people cool through the weekend until Tuesday or Wednesday till I can get there. I'm not going to charge them if they go with the change out. If they don't go with the change out, of course, I'm going to charge them. But that's just customer service. So exactly, tough. So I'm not sweating that, okay? I'm not sweating it. I'm not going to lose the damn change out over a couple pounds of R22. You keep them happy, you keep them cool, they're not going to rush you. If you leave them with no air, they're going to be calling you and texting you, hey, you sure you can't come do it today, or blah, 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 blah? No. Gas it up, keep the old system running so that they can be cool for a couple days until you can get them a new system put in. That's just customer service. The ones that say, oh, you're losing money, blah, blah, blah. I charge for a service call and for that top off and still get the system sale. Well, you know what? Pin a rose on your nose. That's just greedy. It's just greedy. You got a customer that's about to spend thousands of dollars with you, and you're too fucking greedy to give away a couple pounds of R22. I'm not the best Christian in the world, but I do consider myself a Christian. And the church that I do attend, I don't attend it as often as I should, but I do go when I can. The pastor there says that God doesn't like ugly. I heard him say that a long time ago, and I try to live by that now. God doesn't like ugly, and that's ugly. It's just my opinion. Financing. I have a company called FTL. Everything can be done through an app with a answer of approved or denied in less than 5 minutes most of the time. Also work with a local company here. A lot of people don't want to use a company like them. They want to deal with somebody local. So I have those two options. Well, that's great that they do the warranty for you. I'm just telling you how it is here and what I was told. And I just think it's bullshit. Okay. So guys, we got up to, I don't think we broke 100 tonight, but I think I saw it get up to like 95, which is still awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Exactly, William. That's great. And remember that, guys, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, like William said. And also remember, yeah, that's very true, Joe. I would appreciate it if y'all would hit the like button if you like the video. And remember, guys, God don't like ugly. So think about that before you decide to be greedy. Greed is ugly, and God doesn't like ugly. I highly believe that if you help people out, the way that I help people out, I'll tell you one more thing real quick before I go. I have a soft spot for the elderly people. Okay. I have a very soft spot for elderly people because I was around my grandparents. I was lucky enough to know my grandparents. Okay. And I think elderly people are the sweetest people in the world. I will go out of my way to help the elderly. I will give them a better price on equipment, on changeouts, service work, parts, everything. I don't do in-house payment plans, but I will for the elderly. People that are on fixed income, Social Security. These people don't have money, but they deserve air conditioning more than we do. And the younger people do because they really need it. They're sick. They're old. I mean, not all elderly people are sick, but they're more prone to get sick. And I mean, no disrespect, but and I'm not trying to sound hateful, but elderly people are fragile. They really are. They're fragile. I will go out of my way to help the elderly. I have a soft spot for them. I'm going to give them, I'm going to cut their price to the bone. I mean, I've had elderly people where I've broke even. I didn't even turn a profit because they just had no money. And I told them, look, just pay me enough to where I can cover my part, whatever, just to break even. Now, I don't do that to all of them. I still have to turn a profit. But I have a very soft spot for the elderly. I will give them the best pricing over anybody else. And I'm going to help them more than, as much as more than anybody else. And, and I'm going to go out of my way to help them. And I'll do an in-house payment plan with them. I've done an in-house payment plan with several elderly people since I started my company here 2.5 years ago. And I haven't had one not finished paying me. They have all finished paying me. So I try to take care of the elderly. And I suggest y'all do the same if you're in business. Because let me tell you something. we're all going to be old one day too. There's a thing that you can't stop, and that's Father Time. You can't stop Father Time, and you cannot slow Father Time down. We all are going to get old, and we all have an expiration date. And y'all know what I'm talking about. We're all going to get old, and we all have an expiration date. And you can't stop Father Time. I truly believe if you do things like that, especially for the elderly people, it's better to give than to receive. I believe that God will bless you in so many ways. Business-wise, he will bless your business and give you more business. And just and other things he'll do for you. God is wonderful. God is awesome. And I'm not trying to turn this into a religion thing, but I do love the good Lord. And I believe if you take care of those kind of people and you do those kind of blessings for people, God will bless you. And he will bless your business. He will bless your family. And he will take care of you. So, that's just the way that I feel about it. And I try to do the right thing. Look, I am not an angel. I am not a perfect person by any stretch of the means, people. I curse. I drink alcohol, not on a daily basis. But I do like to have a cold beer every now and then. I have I have a filthy mouth. I've cussed tonight on this stream, but I know God still loves me, and I love him. So I'm not an angel, but I try to do the right thing. I really do. Anyway, absolutely, Joe. God wants a relationship with him first and foremost, more than good deeds. Agreed. Agreed. I agree. I agree. No one, yeah, I mean, so anyway, I hope I didn't offend anybody with my talk of God, because the way the world is today, which I haven't seen anything pop up, but I am a Christian. I could be a better one. I could be a much better one, but I am one, and I try to do the right thing, and I do love God so very much. So anyway, you guys, thank you again for tuning in. I apologize for missing last week and the week before. I also apologize about having to interrupt for the phone call, but it was a service call. It's business. Got to do what you got to do. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a topic that you would like me to talk about in the future, leave a comment, not in the live chat. Wait till the video is over, then go to the comment section and leave a comment. I'll be glad to discuss that topic one Thursday night. If somebody would like to come in here with me one Thursday night and talk with me, I'd be glad to have you on. More videos. I know. I'm getting on it, guys. I promise. There's gonna be more videos coming, I promise. So God will bless you if you use rain or shine. Come on. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all on the next one.